to integrate in the community, things like that. Second thing would be to minimize the use of restrictive procedures, so things that use a lot of punishment. And again, most likely you would not see that in one of the VIPs, but yeah, because I don't think Alta would like that very much. But on the off chance that we get it all cleared, then your use of it can only be to the extent that it's described in the VIP. Yes, the behavior intervention plan. Yes, and then the second or third one to focus on is disclosure info. Again, only sharing information when we're authorized to do so, when it's pertinent to the client. So you guys reporting to Bond, whatever you guys see, if there's a behavioral concern, then of course you can throw me into the mix, or vice versa. We share with you guys some of the things that were discussed from the care home. Probably not to watch that video. Okay, so that's a brief overview of the RBT ethics code. Now let's take a look at the one for behavior analysts. Now you're probably wondering, why are we going over the BCBA one if we're just receiving the RBT one? Well, it's actually really important to know the expectations of the supervisor in place. So the BCBA ethics code, it's very similar to the RBT one, except it's a lot longer, just because there's a lot more duties and responsibilities associated with the role. So one of which is responsibility as a professional, things we talked about earlier, integrity, recognizing boundaries, respecting other people, benefiting others, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the first section. But then we also want to do responsibility in practice. So being able to assure that we're using some of those assessment tools like the ones we discussed a few weeks ago regarding the functional assessment, skills assessment, preference assessment, to ensure that we have all the proper resources we need to help the clients. Speaking of the clients, being able to provide, again, privacy and confidentiality, ensure we're coordinating well with their stakeholders. In many of the cases, it's going to be with the care homes, making sure everybody's onto the same page. And just a good example of that would be the communication logs that some of the clients have. Responsibility to supervisees, so being able to provide necessary support and training for those that we are meant to serve as well. I'll see if we have time for that video. I don't think we have. So. Then the other thing would be for giving accurate public statements. So this is more pertaining to a organization or a business to ensure that some of the things they say are accurate. Oh, for instance, some ABA clinic might oversell just how effective their treatments are when, if you look at the data, it doesn't really support that. Or saying that they're using this new fad treatment when that has been shown to be an effective behavioral treatment option, for instance. And then responsibility research, this one's a lot less common given that most BCBAs just practice as professionals. Not a lot of them are doing research, let's say at a university, but it is something to also do as those who are scientists. Because if you're working on developing a new, let's say, behavioral intervention, then you want to make sure that you're still keeping in mind all of the ethics behind treating your participants correctly. So just very brief overview. Again, this is just to ensure you guys are also aware of what the expectations are for the BCBA. And if we can just sum it up, I think we did a good job summing up some of the principles from earlier. Yeah, benefit the client, see them as the person, maintain their dignity, this person-centered approach that we all want to maintain. Follow professional boundaries, so not just with the clients, but with each other, as we established. Yes, the ethical treatment extends to our compatriots. Instead of reporting, again, confidentiality, something we've touched in depth last Monday. Yeah, understanding the code, the basic principles. If there's any big takeaway, it would be the core principles. Benefiting others, behaving with integrity, ensuring competency. Stealing day, we have to work together. And of course, none of us are going to be perfect every single step of the way, which is why those ethics codes are put in place so that we can test our own behavior and our own actions and have it something objective to compare it to. So I also wanted to share this quote by B.F. Skinner. Dr. Gerhardt mentioned B.F. Skinner earlier. I think this is one of my favorite quotes of his. A failure is not always a mistake. It may simply be the best one can do under the circumstance. The real mistake is to stop trying. Very true words.
Failure is always a mistake. That's one word. Do to understand the circumstances. The real scope. Yes.
You want an example, clearly?
Yeah, did you have a lesson for us?
Yeah, I got an example.
Let's hear
I
it.
got met at the UPS store. I had an ongoing fight for 3 days, going in person because they didn't deliver my package, but it said delivered on my tracking number. But they didn't know I have cameras in my front house. And I saw the truck, UPS, drive by, didn't even bother trying to deliver my package. They said it was a misdelivery. I said, no, here's living proof. All I did was drive by, and then they marked the package as delivered. So my point here is that it wasn't a mistake that, oh, it got delivered, a poached pirate took it. It's not our fault. They didn't even try. It was a misdelivery. It was a failure on their end. And then I got the GPS tracking coordinates from the UPS truck, and then I held accountable that driver. And that's a different story. Anyways, the point is misdelivery, failure to even attempt to deliver my package. It wasn't a mistake like they gave it to my neighbor. You know, that I understand if that was the case. It happens. But the driver didn't even try. So that's why I got mad.
It's not like a driver.
The driver that's supposed to deliver my package didn't even get out of the truck to try to deliver any package because I live on a roundabout. And my camera showed a UPS truck driving by slowly like an ice cream truck, just went around, didn't even attempt to give. Yeah, exactly. Just drove on by because they have a GPS tracking coordinate. But when they get in the vicinity, it marks off green check mark that they were there.
Sounded like the delivery driver unethically.
Exactly, purposefully.
Okay.
So I don't know if
that
that.
mistake is stop trying.
That's part of human error.
Yes.
And then human rectification on my end.
Failure is not always a
He
mistake.
lacked integrity. He didn't respect my package.
When you fail at the exam, it's not a mistake.
And he certainly wasn't benefiting you. Okay?
I would have been more complacent should he have tried and it made a mistake, or even if it got stolen, right? But he didn't even try. So someone has to be held accountable.
Okay.
Not me. I have cameras.
Well, thank you for that case scenario.
You know what I mean?
Very helpful. Yes.
I don't know what they said. I did my best. I did it my way. It happened that way.
I did it
This is Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, I was gonna say thanks Sinatra. My way.
my way. Sinatra. A failure is not always a mistake.
Yeah.
The real mistake is stop trying.
Yeah. Exactly.
Basically, if you Now, if you take the RBT test and you pay, it's not a mistake. The real mistake is this: you don't know anything.
Well,
Correct.
yeah,
That's a
but
fair
the
point.
mistake was not to even even if you failed, there's an order of operations. You try first, you failed. Okay, so be it. Try again. You know. But how will you know?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Still, we have some more.
Speaking of the exam, how about we do some practice questions?
Oh, this is what I'm telling you.
There we go.
Let's do it.
Maybe you could have paid the exam because
It has-
we didn't
Yeah.
study.
So the mistake would here is not trying to answer.
Oh yeah.
Keep that in mind, guys. Okay. While at the day program, you notice a client has a new bruising pattern on their arm.
Oh, it's not yet finished. And you answer immediately.
Thank you. You guys are ahead of it.
Okay.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, you guys are really good at that. So, I mean, there wasn't a shadow in my mind that you guys are going to get it. But
Yeah.
it's part of the curriculum, so we got to cover it. Very good. Okay. Which of the following actions best demonstrates the principle of treating others with compassion, dignity, and respect?
Make it B. Boy.
B as a boy? Yes. Yes. It'd be very appropriate to refer to a 35-year-old as kiddo. What is the primary purpose of the RBT ethics code? Allow RBT supervision, provide full
Make it
supervision.
letter C. C.
See, oh man, it's almost like a whole choir.
C.
Yes, it is C, guys. That's right. Like the consumer is the client, the people in
Protection
their
delivery of
lives.
ethical services.
Yes. And RBT is discussing a client's recent behavior outburst with a friend in a loud restaurant using the client's full name. Which ethical standard is being violated?
Confidentiality. Confidentiality.
Letter C. I may have shared this with you guys. Well, whenever I have a story about a client that I tell my friends, one, I never use their name, and usually I'm the butt of the joke when it comes to the story. So that's kind of the rules I put in place for myself to make sure I'm still maintaining the confidentiality. Why is the structure of the ethics code for behavior analysts important for the RBTs to understand? Touched on this. So then the RBT can tell their supervisor what to do. It's not important. It replaces the RBT code, or the supervisor's actions are responsible for the RBTs. We briefly touched on this. I think I heard it somewhere over here. What was it? D?
Yeah, D.
Yes. That way you know what standard the supervisor is placed on. What was it, guys? A client consistently chooses to sit by the window and look at a tablet instead of joining the group craft. Oh boy, here we go. What should you do?
Oh, let us see. That's a choice.
There you go. Exactly. Find choice. So that means we got to find a way to make it much more reinforcing for them to join.
So
Offer them
if
something.
one example then, if
Yes.
community walk
Uh-huh.
and the client doesn't want to go out, so we're not going to force them.
Yeah, don't force them.
Okay.
And we can just start off with reducing the demand. So instead of having to go outside with everybody, how about they just step outside for a brief moment and then they can go back?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then builds up that way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned the demand fading. Okay, last one. Which section of the ethics code for behavior analysts ensures RBT are getting their support and feedback they need to do their jobs correctly? I'm hearing
D.
C, D, E. It would be B, yeah, supervisees, yes. Yeah. Every RBT is a supervisee of a BCBA. Which, all right, guys. I ran out of space and I didn't want to use up another sheet. So I have one more bonus question. An adult client is working on a vocational goal of shredding paper.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Sean. They indicate that they are tired, not Sean, and want to stop after 5 minutes. The RBT insists that they finish the stack to build endurance. Which principle is the RBT violating here? Is it A, ensuring one's competence, B, benefiting others, C, treating others with respect, or D, behaving with integrity? Okay. Yes. Very good, guys. Yes. If the client wants a break, respect that. You know that. Great job, guys. Awesome.
So one question or
Yes.
some request. We're talking about PACB, BCBA,
Yes.
too much acronyms and everything.
I know it's long.
I tend to forget.
I know. I
Can you
know.
just put a
So,
list?
I will. I will.
Please,
make
huh?
it. Yes.
This is
because-
a request.
Of course. Of course. I'll make
Because
it.
I asked what is PACB. Then I forgot. Then
Yes, I know, and it doesn't help that BACB and BCBA are two different terms. Yes, I
Yes,
completely
please,
get
can
you.
you just make
Of course, no
a
problem.
list so that
No
we can
problem.
really